Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Saturday, August 29th. And you can see temperatures in the low 60s, pretty uniform with clouds and showers out there. The northwestern part of the MAC area has picked up some rain here, over 1/10 of an inch of rain at Henderson, Middleton, and Breckenridge, and just over 1/4 inch at Newaygo. More moderate rain is moving in from the west. And I think, again, the areas around central Michigan should see the heaviest rainfall from this system of up to around 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, probably 1/4 to 1/2 inch across southeast lower Michigan. We'll have to watch for the possibility of any thunderstorms. Yesterday looked like we had a better chance of thunderstorms, which could produce locally heavy rainfall in excess of 1.5 inches in isolated areas. I don't think that's going to be the case today, but there could be enough thunder showers that could develop, especially this afternoon, that some areas could get over 1 inch. But again, I think for the most part, a good solid half inch or maybe up to 3/4 inch across much of the MAC area. You can see the webcam outside looking west from the Ransom Road grading station. You can see the mud puddles from the 1/1300ths of an inch we've picked up here up to about 7:30 this morning. And you can see on the weather map for later today, our low in Iowa is going to be moving towards the Great Lakes. This system's going to fall apart here over the next 24 hours and become a non-feature as high pressure takes over. We'll have building heights across much of the eastern U.S., and that's going to bring quite a bit warmer air into the Great Lakes. You can see on radar that area of showers and thunder showers moving into the state across much of the central and northern parts. Again, this is where the heaviest rainfall looks like it'll be for the storm from around the Lansing area or maybe just a hair south up to around the Clare Harrison area. I think, again, that's the area that's most likely to see the solid 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain. You can see another feature dropping down in that when it interacts with this low before it dissipates could cause some of the afternoon thunderstorms that might develop. If we look at the MAC lightning detection network, and this is on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can see a couple of strikes down here in Kent County. Again, I think there'll be more in the way of a few thunder showers develop here as we get into the afternoon hours. Again, you can go to this map and zoom in or whatever you'd like to do at any time. And if we look at the weather map for tomorrow, you can see our low pressure system is pretty much all but faded away as high pressure begins to take over. Possibly some leftover showers across far southeast lower Michigan over into Ontario. And if we look at the next map, you can see the WPC's forecast over the next 7 days. We'll have another chance maybe as the low pressure tries to break into the ridge. It's probably going to die as it does, but it could cause another period of maybe a shower or thunderstorm or two here as we get towards midweek. And then, of course, you can see tropical storm, which will probably become tropical depression Erica, and then it'll probably re-emerge into the Gulf of Mexico, and I think it has a chance of strengthening into a pretty good tropical storm as it comes up over the central or east central panhandle of Florida as we get towards Wednesday. But we have some other concerns, I think, on that storm that we need to kind of watch for on the models over the next couple of days. And that would be right now, you can see the latest advisory on this. Isn't the latest. This is the forecast as it makes landfall. As the current advisory shows, it's going to move up into and move over a pretty good chunk of Cuba, and that's going to really weaken it into a depression. But the track has been further and further west with many of these runs, and so now it emerges over a pretty good area of the Gulf of Mexico with that warm water and allows it to strengthen. And you can see as it makes landfall on the current advisory around Wednesday, it has sustained winds of about 45 miles per hour and wind gusts to 60. So that's not a bad system. Looks like a pretty good system heading for that area. The big concern now is if it tracks just a little bit farther west, it will avoid much of Cuba's landmass, and then it'll come over to the eastern part of Cuba where the terrain is much flatter. And that would allow it to have a little bit more better organization as it emerges into the Gulf. And you can see if it travels up, it'll go across more Gulf water than the current track, and that could actually allow it to strengthen into perhaps a weak hurricane as it gets towards the western part of the Florida Panhandle. But again, that's just speculation on my part. But that's something I think we need to watch out, and it could become a hurricane later next week. So we'll keep following that. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the warm weather we got coming up as summer 2.0 kicks in this week with low 80s early in the week, and then I think mid, maybe even upper 80s for much of next week. And that warm pattern will continue for the foreseeable future. Thanks for stopping by, and have a great Saturday, and 73s to all.